ISAF is accepting full responsibility for the accidental deaths of 9 Afghan civilians in the eastern province of Kunar. ISAF was returning fire after multiple insurgent rocket attacks on Fob Blessing. Attack helicopters were deployed to the point of origin of the attack and engaged what they believed were insurgents. It was later revealed that those individuals were boys who were out cutting wood in the area. The commander of NATO and ISAF forces there, General David Petraeus, personally issued an apology, saying this event is particularly distressing given the recent direction I gave to commanders to review our tactical directive that is intended to reduce civilian casualties to the absolute minimum. Now, the deputy commander of U.S. forces in Afghanistan, Lieutenant General David Rodriguez, reiterated the importance of protecting the Afghan public and said ISAF and NATO troops have made great strides in achieving that goal over the past 12 months.
We do spend considerable time training our soldiers how to engage the right targets. We have directives, and we make sure all soldiers clearly understand them. These directives are constantly under review, and we are continually reinforcing their messages. In fact, in the last year, because of this emphasis, we have done much better preventing civilian casualties.
And in Afghanistan's southwest, much of the security is being handled by Afghan forces. The commander of Regional Command Southwest, Major General Richard Mills, briefed reporters at the Pentagon Thursday about local elections held in the area that were conducted without incident.
They all took great pleasure in casting their votes, elected 35 members of their new council that will help the governor govern and make budget decisions. And that was all very, very successful with absolutely no security incidents. Despite a threat delivered by the insurgent that he wanted to break that election up, he was unable to do that. And all of the security was provided by the local Afghan police and by their local, their national police, the ANCOP, the so-called ANCOP. Coalition forces were not involved in the security matters around the district center that day.
And for U.S. Army units there, the greatest advantage at their disposal is the rapport they create with local Afghans. Petty Officer Santos Hante takes us to Kapisa province, where 2 units are building relationships with 2 Afghan technical schools.
In the Kapisa province of Afghanistan, Army National Guard Kentucky Agricultural Business Development Team 2, or ADT-2, visited 2 technical schools to assess their needs and oversee development bids by local contractors. One of them, the Kapisa Agricultural Institute.
Well, the idea is one, we needed to check on some equipment we had bought for the school. We had bought a small lab, some microscopes for them to use with their students in instruction, and also some desks. They just needed some desks and chairs. Had not been able to get any, so very small bulk funds project. Wanted to make sure those were there, that they were being used, and that they were going to work for the students.
Currently, the Kapisa Agricultural Institute is expanding to a new building for classes and construction of a dormitory.
For the most part, you see Afghans that are trying to better their lives, better their families, maybe to help to learn a little bit how maybe they can better work with their own Afghan government.
And students of Alberoni University Law School are doing just that. Meeting with faculty, Task Force Red Bull's Rule of Law coordinator discusses future projects and establishing relationships with educators.
Well, we visited Alberoni Law School, which is the primary law school in this part of the country. And our purpose there was to develop a relationship with them and start building a partnership with them, because they are, in fact, teaching the next generation of leaders for the country. And many of their students are ultimately going to be the judges, the prosecutors, and government officials. So developing a partnership with them to help their students learn the message about how the rule of law and how the development of rule of law principles is important to developing our society.
Reporting from Kapisa Province, Afghanistan, I'm Petty Officer Santos Wante.
Also, one girls' school in Afghanistan has reopened its doors to students. Army Sergeant Sarah Goss tells us why the school was initially closed.
The Sarnasiab Girls High School in Kabul has undergone major reconstruction. Coalition forces and an Afghan construction company worked together for 9 months to rebuild the school.
For years we were teaching the children under a tent in cold and hot weather. It was not the right accommodation for trying to learn in.
The construction project included 13 new classrooms, offices for school administration, a guardhouse at the school's main entrance, and 250 new desks.
If you want to have a lawyer, a mathematician, an engineer, a scientist, you must educate them. Do not let this banner die. Do not let this candle die. Let's keep doing it.
Passionate words from a woman who has been teaching the children of Afghanistan for 30 years. In Kabul, I'm Army Sergeant Sarah Goss.
And that's a look at what's happening downrange. Remember, you can always download or watch these stories anytime on demand at pentagonchannel.mil.